All right, we're back, and we're working on the hands a little bit, and this becomes very delicate in this area. It does. Becomes very, very delicate, and that's why when you first get it with a knife, then you can kind of get in there and get it with a V-tool. Use your V-tool to get in some areas, because it's a very, very tight area in there. Very tight area. Okay. Okay, let me kind of, this is the way we do things. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to work on the head now, and get these V-tools out of the way for a minute. I don't want to, and you know, the head is like an egg. We've done this 100 times, and I want to go ahead and make my nose. Get my position where my nose is going to be. Okay, there's where our nose is going to be, and I'm just going to kind of, and we come up here. Yeah, the Bible has a lesson for us as well, and the Word of God, and one, of course, is to be saved, and so that when we leave this world, we'll be with Jesus. But the second one, another one is, it says count the cost before you do something. And I mean, it's absurd to go say, I'm gonna go build me a home. I'm gonna go build me a $200,000 home, but I don't know how to pay for it. That's not counting the cost. That's just ignoring the details of something, like anything else. When you go to buy a car, and everybody has bought a car, there are certain things you have to, you know, like how much does it cost? How can I pay for it? And all these things. That's just part of life. My first car I ever bought was a 67 Mustang. Wonderful. I loved it. Love that car. I did. Okay. Now I'm going to do this nose just a little bit more. Since he's a prisoner, I want to go ahead and I want to have his hair down here. His hair coming down here like this. He's going to kind of be a grubby looking old guy, you know. So I'm going to cut that and cut that down and cut that over. And we're going to remove that right there. Like anything in our lives, we have to, no, these were just things that I learned and had to be taught. You can't, in fact, I think that's what really got our country, had a lot to do with our country at one time going bankrupt, or like in 2008. A lot of you people might not went through that. Most of you did, I'm sure, where they were giving loans out to people that they knew couldn't pay them back, and it collapsed the housing industry and everything like that. A lot of it did. I've had people ask me to help finance cars and co-sign for cars and stuff. Not a good idea, because it's not a lot of people, they don't pay things back. Unfortunately, it's sad to hear that, but it is true. I've been bitten on loans, and I've loaned people money, and I remember Carver one time. I'll never forget this. He was a very good friend of mine, and he carved an elephant head, and it was a life-size elephant head. The thing was gorgeous. It was just beautiful. I can't remember his name. It's been so long. He's a young man, much younger than myself. And he was just a great carver, and he carved an elephant head. That thing was gorgeous. And the lady, he allowed the lady not to have to pay, I think it was like $8,000 for this thing. But, I mean, if you'd have seen it, it was worth it. But he allowed her to pay on payments. When he was telling me this story, and I saw it. He brought it to a carving show one time. Oh, it's gorgeous. And she stopped paying on it. And he tried to get her to keep paying, and she wouldn't do it. He had to actually go get his piece. And he lost a lot of money, and basically his carving business went out of business. And he had a small one, it wasn't real large. But he just told me, he said, some people you want to trust them, but they seem nice, but they just don't, she didn't pay me back. She didn't pay me for what so I had to end up donating it to a museum is what he did, because it was a commission job. She had it carved for her husband, who worked in a zoo or something like that, and he lost a lot of money. He was telling me about it. It was a sad story. Lost a lot of money. And he went out of the carving business then and got him another job. And I still remember that story very well. He told me he lost his shirt on that little deal. And he was being honest. He did the piece for her, and he thought she was going to pay him, And she did for a little while, but then she stopped payments. And he lost it all. I think she only paid about $500 on it. And then she quit. So he was out over $7,000. Sad. I hate to hear things like that, from carvers who are trying to. And he was just trying to make a living. He wasn't trying to be wise to anybody. But he lost big time, and his family suffered for it. He was a great carver. He was. So see, sometimes a lot of people can be great carvers, but the reason they can't go into business is because they allow. There's some people make bad deals with them, and they lose a lot of money. And I mean, they were stiffed. Let's put it that way. And how many people haven't been stiffed? I have. Not over carving, but over helping someone. And I lost a lot of money from that. And okay. Yeah, I have a lot of people I've known that were carvers and were stiffed bad on their, they did a commission job for somebody, and they didn't pay them the full amount, and they maybe paid them half or whatever, and quit paying them, and they had to either go get the carving or they just lost it. They lost the money. And that's what happens to a lot of people. And that is sad. Because a man's got to feed his family, folks. Yeah, just because a man is self-employed doesn't mean he don't have to feed his family. And this man lost a lot. He couldn't afford to lose $7,000, put it that way. But he lost it. And sad. Very good friend of mine. I don't know where he's at today. He's up in the country somewhere. He was a member of our carving club. Okay. See what I did? I just brought the hair down here. And okay. Kind of take a little bit off this nose and a little bit off there, and just kind of but God is good. Sometimes when I'm doing carvings like this, I'm doing just showing you how to do them and stuff. Just to add on to something, I get to talking, and those are stories that had an effect on my life as a carver, because I realized that a lot of times there are just people that don't pay their bills, and they don't care. And maybe it doesn't ruin them, but it can sure ruin somebody who's trying to make a living doing something like that. I had a friend of mine who was a roofer, still is a very good friend of mine, and this lady, she had her insurance company. She had a leak, and the insurance company gave her the money for the roof. And she called him, and he went and did her roof. And he said when he opened the door to get paid, he was through with the roof and everything. The lady, the minute that she opened the door, the lady yelled out. She said, "I spent all my money on QVC, and I don't have it anymore." And he just looked at her like, "What?" She said, "Yeah, I spent all my money on QVC. I don't have it anymore." And she'd been sit there in that QVC, that's that where you buy things over the internet. Over the TV. She spent all her money she got from the insurance company. And there's really wasn't a whole lot he could do. He finally had to put a lien on her house. And if she ever sold the house, he'd get his money. But he lost then. He could sue her in small claims court, I guess. But it was just kind of I've heard so many stories like that. Okay, all right. We're just kind of working this down now. Okay. Now let's go ahead and give him a face here. And I could tell you some stories. I'll tell you what, there were some things that happened to people that I knew. And bad things, some not so bad. And people that were just cheated out of money. And it's sad, but it happens. right. And since he's been arrested, he's not going to be a very happy person. Okay. And then just kind of come up underneath here and make that lower chin. I mean that lower lip. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him in one of those, it's kind of a jumpsuit. It's sort of the suits that they, I'll just kind of do this on the thing. One of those suits that they wear when they're arrested, you know, it's kind of an orange suit or whatever it is, or yellow or whatever it is that they make them wear. You've seen them. They've okay. Do 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 do. Just something to add to the carving. This guy, and I'll get me some small wood from Hobby Lobby, and I'll make my sign with it. And actually, it's not a sign. It's the when you get arrested, they give you that number. In other words, that arrest number or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not in law enforcement, but that's just kind of the old time. You know, when you got arrested, they took your picture and stuff. You were holding up I guess it was their arrest number or something. I don't know exactly what that is. I need to look into that. See what it is. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a little bit more inside here. And I think that's going to, and then I'm just going to slip that in between there, in other words. That, and of course the fingers will go here. And the fingers will go here. In other words, like that. And I'm just going to kind of do him a little eye here. Two. Two. Put him a little eye in there. When we get through with him. And of course, let me get my little V2. And we do the hair. And let me go this over a little bit more. Just a little bit too flat on top here. Well, the neighbor's coming in. Bumping the horn. What for, I don't know. I'm not at my house, by the way. I'm at my mother's house. So everything's a lot different over here. That's why I'm outside carving. I really miss my house and all this stuff. I mean, what I mean is I miss the fact that I had everything set up just so perfect to do videos, and my garage was set up perfect for my bandsaw and all that stuff, and now everything is just different now. But you adjust. You adjust the way you have to. So many people, I know the people of North Carolina are going through the same thing I'm going through. They've lost their homes. A lot of them didn't have flood insurance. A lot of them really hurting bad. I know the feeling. But that's just life, folks. We all go through a lot in life. Anybody that doesn't is very fortunate. To go through life and not having something catastrophic happen to you, you're blessed. You're blessed. All right. Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and wet this thing. And just show you, and I'll put the fingers in later and stuff like that. Once I get the card in and all that, then I'll put the fingers in later and all that, which is no big deal. You just use a V-tool and put them in, or you can actually cut them with a knife. If I'll show you if you just want to, you just cut them with a knife. There, just like that. Okay, well, let me go ahead and wet him.